Hello and welcome to Friday's second edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I hope you managed to catch the crossword video earlier on, and we continue the theme of the last few days with the gradual melting of Simon, the roast of Simon. That's what we should call. That's what we should call this heat wave: the roasting of Simon. But anyway, before I get distracted and think about just how hot it has been in my office for the last few hours, let's talk about what this video is going to hopefully entail, which is me solving a puzzle called Segment Counters by none other than Kaktuslav. Loads of you have recommended this, and in fact, when I saw it, I thought it was going to be a similar rule set to the puzzle by Nicholas Duhale, Cataract, which I talked about during that video, saying, oh, this is a rule set that I think could go further. And when I started to read the rules of this one, I thought, oh, maybe this is the same thing. I think it is different, though. It is different. This is region sum lines, but sort of combined with circles logic. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know what both of those things are. If you've not been watching the channel for very long, do not worry. Always on Cracking the Cryptic, we try and make sure that the videos are welcoming to anybody who's new to the hobby. So we try and explain everything. Yeah, we'll go through the rules of this one in a moment or two's time. Loads of you have been recommending this. I mean, Kaktuslav is one of those constructors, a bit like Marty Sears, where basically everything he releases gets recommended a lot because so many people try the puzzles, and because he's such a brilliant setter, that inevitably a lot of those people who do try them say, oh, I'd love to see more people try and solve this one. So I'll do my best for you, and we'll read the rules in a moment or two's time. What else can I tell you about before we kick off today? I've not got terribly much news. I'll make an appeal. You've still got 3 days left to have a go at this month's competition. Let me try and find the right. Is it this one? Yay! It is Detective Pets by Sandra and Nala and Panthera. Literally thousands of you have been playing those puzzles and enjoying them. The feedback we've had has been lovely, and it's not too difficult this month. So if you haven't started yet, you'll easily get through all the puzzles in time. Give yourself the opportunity to come onto the channel and record a video and try and solve a puzzle. I'd love you to have a go at that. So do have a go, and you've got until the 20th to get your answers to us and be in with a chance of winning the competition. Now, other than that, I've got one birthday stroke moving good luck wish. I think it's Naylor. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Naylor, you turned 30 on the 14th, so a few days ago. But this week, I know this because your brother Lars wrote to us and said you've been watching for a while and hopefully enjoying the channel. But I know that you're moving this week from Aachen in Germany to, I'll probably pronounce this wrong, but is it Luleå in Sweden? But that is for a very good reason. It's to begin your PhD in urban water engineering. So I am here to wish you the very best of luck with that. I hope you had a great birthday too, of course. So many happy returns and all best wishes for the move and for your PhD. And I hope that you had some very, very excellent and well-iced chocolate cake to celebrate your birthday. That's all the news. So shall we have a go at some solving? Let's read the rules to Kaktuslav's puzzle. It won't take very long, actually. There's not many rules, but what we've got to do today is we've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we're going to try and put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and and every 3x3 box. The 3x3 box borders divide each blue line into segments. Along any individual blue line, all segments have the same sum. Different blue lines may have different sums. So what does that mean? Let's look at this one. So those, that's a segment, isn't it? So I'm just dividing these lines along the using the 3x3 box borders to divide them into segments. So what we're being told here is that these yellow ones add to the same as those indigo ones, add to the same as those purple ones, add to the same as those green ones. But obviously we don't know what that total is. We're going to have to use the logic in the puzzle to try and work out what that total is. If a circled cell on a blue line contains the digit n, then the digit n appears in exactly n segments of that blue line, including the segment containing the circle. So if this was a 3, then of the 4 segments that there are on this line, 3 of them would contain a 3, I think, including that one. So 2 others would contain a 3. So if there wasn't so there would be a 3 in there. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? If there would be a 3 in, hang on, I was reading that as a 2-cell segment. No, there might be a 3 in there. If there wasn't, then that would be a 3, because you'd have to have a 3 on this segment and this segment. And to achieve that from a Sudoku perspective, you could only put a 3 there on this segment. That's really cool. That's a really interesting rule. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I love the way Kaktuslav has only put circles at the top of the puzzle. I mean, these ones can't. These circles can't be very big. That line only goes into 2 boxes. So those digits have to be a 1-2 pair, I think. I mean, how could you put 3 in either of those? That would say the digit 3 repeated 3 times along this line. It's only in 2 boxes, so you'd necessarily break Sudoku. Yeah, and yes, okay, or a different way to see that is that a 3 would say that the 3 appeared in 3 segments along this line, but there's only 2 segments on the line. So this has to be a 1-2 pair. And this segment must have a 2 on it, because one of those is a 2. There are 2 segments on the line that contain a 2. So the second segment must contain a 2, and now that 2 sees this digit, so that's a 1, and that's a 2. This is a bizarre rule. This is already a bizarre rule. Now 2 by Sudoku is in one of those cells. And the 1 is, so that's the only 1 on the line, which we could have seen anyway, just from a Sudoku perspective. And, well, that's a 1. Now, because this line, I mean, the only, we could have had a 2 here if this had been a 2, because there are only 2 segments on the line. But actually, for many reasons, this can't be a 2. If that was a 2, from a region sum perspective, you'd be saying those 2 digits sum to 2, and that's impossible. The minimum those digits could sum to actually now is 4. So I think this has to be a 1. Oh, that made me think I was getting it wrong, because then I was thinking that's an arrow, and this is the circle of an arrow, but it's not, is it? What we're actually learning is those 2 digits are consecutive. Because imagine this was a 6, then we'd be saying this segment summed to 6, so this needs to sum to 6, so this would be 1 and 5. So there's sort of a white Kropki dot between these, with the left-hand digit being larger. So 1 is in one of those 3 cells. Okay, I think I can go a bit further here as well, because these digits are a minimum now of 3 plus 4, aren't they? That's 10. So this segment here sums to at least 10, which means this is either 2, 8 or 2, 9. Because purple can't add up to less than 10, we must be combining the 2 here with at least an 8. So this is either, right, so this has got 3 in it, because it's either a 3-4 pair or a 3-5 pair. Now, can we do better than that? We might be able to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, so we better have a look at these. We might be able to limit these by how many boxes they go through. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Oh, okay. This digit is very straightforward now, but only because of the work we've done in row 1. That is a 4. And the reason we know that is that there are exactly 4 segments on this line. So this digit couldn't be bigger than 4, but it can't be 1, it can't be 2 by pencil marks, and it can't be 3 by the logic we just did. So that's a 4, and now we have to put 4 on all the segments. And now we get the logic that we noticed earlier when we were doing the example if this was a 3, because now this has to be a 4. In fact, this is going to go further. Now I've got a 4 here as well. So 4 is in one of 2 places in box 6. 4 is in... Oh, no, this is great. Look. Oh, Kaktuslav, this is so smooth so far. Now there's a 4 looking there. So this is 3, 5. So this adds up to 11 now, which means this has got to be 2, 9. I'm going to pencil mark. I mean, this is frivolous, but I'm going to pencil mark the rest of row 1. 6, 7, and 8. No, that's horrendous. Is that true? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that in the corner is a 6, which is quite strange. Actually, my phone's buzzing at me. But because there are exactly 6 segments on this massive line, so this couldn't be bigger than 6. So it must be 6, and therefore 6 is on all these segments. So let's pop that on. It can't go there now because that would break Sudoku. That can't be a 6. So we learn a little bit about the great big line. But I think we're going to have to look at these 2 digits. Let's just take stock for a moment so that we don't miss anything blatantly obvious. So if this was a 1, we'd be saying that 1, that would be the only appearance of 1 on the whole of this line. That might be fine. Okay, I can't actually see anything. Okay, oh, nearly. No, it doesn't work. Well, okay, here is a slightly different point going back to this line. This line's got all sorts of segments on, but they all have a common digit, which is the 4. So in the dark green segment, there is another digit. Let's say it was a 6. No, it can't. Why would I pick 6? Let's say it's 5. If it's 5, it might not be able to be 5, but let's just say it was 5. Then we know these 2 lime green digits must add to 5, don't we? Because one of these is a 4, which matches off exactly with this. So these 2 have to add to whichever of these is not 4. And if we're saying it's 5, those 2 would be a 2, 3 pair to add to 5. And that definitely doesn't work, actually, because then those would be a 2, 3 pair. Oh, in fact, hang on. Right, these digits are at least 3 and 5. So, got it. Right, well, I haven't got it, but I've got something. These are at least 3 and 5, which is 8. So the digit that's accompanying the 4 here is at least an 8. So this is either 3, 5, because it can't be any less. 1's here, 2's up there, and that's 4, or 3, 6, but it must have a 3 in it. Now, I don't know. I'm sure that's doing something. Is it doing something here or there? maybe here. So those two digits, which might include a 1, have to sum to the same thing as these two. So if the 1 was here, this would be a 1 and a 7 or a 1 and an 8, and that would be a 178 triple. But if the 1 is there, then these would have to add up. Well, they would have to be the same. This can't have a 3 on it, can it? Oh, this is bizarre. This is quite a beautiful point, actually. Right, how to explain this? Yeah, this is the way to explain it. And I think I could have seen this more easily, but I didn't. The orange segment and the grey segment both have the digit 4 on. Imagine they both, we know there's a 3 in the grey segment. Imagine this had a 3 on it as well. Well, then the extra digit in here to partner the 3 would be the same extra digits as is in grey, because we know the sum of grey is the same as the sum of orange. But that won't work, because imagine this was 3, 6. Well, then this would be 3, 6 as well, and that digit would be impossible. So there cannot be a 3 on the orange line. So let's think about what it must have on it. If it had no 1 on it, it doesn't have 2 on it by Sudoku. It doesn't have 4 on it. If it didn't have 3 on it either, it would be at least 5 plus 7, which is 12. And I can't make these add up to 12 because I can't write 412 into the dark green segment. So this does have 1 on it. And we said that this adds to 8 or 9. So these have to add to 8 or 9 with the 1. So it's a 1 and a 7 or a 1 and an 8. That is a 178 triple. And now these digits are 2, 3, 5, 9, 2, 3, 5, 9. And now we nearly know the sum of that segment. Hang on, let's find a colour for that. In fact, maybe I'll recycle purple. That segment is, well, it depends what that digit is, doesn't it? So if we add all of those digits together, we've got 1925, yeah. So that dog leg there sums to 25 because it's 2 plus 3 plus 5, which is 10, plus 9 plus 6. So it's 25. But then whatever this digit is being deducted from 25 to arrive at the total for the purple segment. So the maximum size of the purple segment is 23. And the minimum size of it would be, if it was 9, 16. So it's somewhere between 16 and 23. Which is probably important. If it was 23, all of the 3 cell segments would have to be 6, 8, 9, which actually that wouldn't work there. So I can get rid of a 2 from this cell. If this is 2, the segment size of purple is 23, which means those 3 have to be 6, 8, and 9. And if you look at those combined with green, we're selecting those 5 digits from just 4 different numbers, 4, 6, 8, and 9. Well, that will necessitate that one of those digits repeats, so we mustn't do that. So that is not 2. If it's 3, that might work because, oh, wait, no. Careful, Simon, here. Careful. What are these circles I've never even looked at? They can't have 9 in them. There's only 6 segments on this line. Now, can you... I find it very hard to believe that there's a 5 in here. I really do, because if there's 5, then 4 of these segments have 5 on them. And obviously, if you put a 5... Oh, I don't know, actually. If you put a 5 on the 3-cell segment with a 6... So if you put a 5... Say you put a 5 on that one and you put a 5 on that one, then the third digit would be the same for both cases, but maybe that doesn't matter because I don't. The 3-cell segments on that line don't actually look at one another very directly, do they? No. Oh, for some reason I looked at that 3, 5 and I compared it with that cell. Why would you do that? Good question. Where's 9 in row 2? That's a good question. It can't go there because then that would be a 10. So 9 is very restricted, which... Oh, yeah, so 9 is very restricted here. It's either exactly there. So if... Right, so now we can get rid of 3 from here. Because if this cell was 3, the segment size for purple would then be 22. And that won't work because a 22 in 3 cells requires a 9. 6, 7 and 8 only add up to 21. So if this is 3, this is 9 because we can't put 9 in the circles. And there's a 9 in blue, so we get 2 9s in column 8, which won't work. So this is 5 or 9. And if that's 5, then I don't know, that might be okay. If that's 5, the segment size is 20, so these have to add to 20, including a 6. No, it doesn't work again. It's beautiful, actually. This digit is very important. Because if this is 5, the reason it doesn't work is this immediately becomes 9, because one of those two is 9. And this 3-cell segment here has to sum to 20, but one of its digits is a 6. And that's not going to work because the other 2 digits will add to 14. And they can't be 6, 8 because we've already put a 6 in. And they can't be 5, 9 because the 9's looming over them like the sword of Damocles. So that's not going to work. So this is 9, definitely. And now we've got the segment size on the long line. Oh, now I've got to... hang on, I hadn't seen that the 2 is restricted. Okay, let me think this through. So now I know that purple sums to 16. Okay, so that's a 6 and 2 digits that sum to 10. In fact, that's a 6 and 2 digits that sum to 10. That's a 6 and 2 digits that sum to 10. What about that? It depends, doesn't it? These 2 digits either sum to 8 or 9, depending on what we put there. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think that's the next step. I suspect it's this line. Probably these circles. Oh, yeah, surely. Surely now 5 is impossible. Because... yeah, 5 is definitely impossible. This is so well put together. It's so smooth, Kaktuslav. As usual, you are just impeccable with your choices. Look, why can't one of these be 5 now? Because then we'd have to put 5 5s on this line. That inevitably means, even if I try and keep 5s off the 3-cell segments, I could put 1 5 on that segment, 1 5 on that segment, 1 5 on that segment. That's only 3. So I've still got to put 2 more 5s on, but I can never put a 5 in a 3-cell segment with a 6 because we know the 2 digits that are accompanying the 6 sum to 10. And if one of them is a 5, the other one will have to be a second 5 and Sudoku will break. So we can't put 5 in there. So this is a 3, this is a 2, this is a 5. Now that's a 3. Very tempted to pencil mark maybe row 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's 6, 7 or 8 because of the 4 pencil mark here. So that digit is actually 5, 6, 7, or 8, which means this digit is one more than that. So that's 6, 7, 8, or 9, and we don't know which. Okay. Okay, so let's return our attention over here. What does this mean? We've now got to put all the segments sum to 16. And we've got one more 2 only in all of them. And 2 more 3s. As well as this one. What? Okay. I haven't got the scoobiest foggy what to do with that. What? It can't be that one. I mean, that one's a disambiguating one if ever I saw it. Oh, 4. Yeah, okay, 4 is limited in box 8. We can't, and this will be obvious to you all, but you can't put 4 on a line, on a 3-cell line with these 6s. Because remember, the 2 digits we're accompanying the 6 with add up to 10. So if we were to put 4 here, we'd need 2 6s to get to 16, and that won't work. So 4 is being kept off the line there. Doesn't work the same there, because that's a 4-cell segment, so I presume you can put the 4 in. So it's a bit strange, actually. I don't really understand how this is restricting. Do we need lots of 1s? Is that the point for the 4-cell segments? Because you could have a 2 in there. We've got 1, 2 to play with, so you could definitely have one of the. Okay, so maybe one of these has to have a 1, or maybe both of them have to have a 1. Actually, if they both had to have a 1, that would be a 1. I'm not sure. Okay, well let's think it through. So if you were trying to make 16, you've got 3 digits there that add to 10, haven't you? If you couldn't use 2, how are you doing it? You've got 1, 2, 7. That's absolutely fine. Can't use 6 in the threesome because then you'd repeat the 6. So you've then got 5, 5, 4, 1. Or 5, 2, 3. So if you can't use 2. Right. Okay, maybe this is more restricted than I realised. I'm going to now look at both of these. I just want to think this through because I think the 3 digits that are accompanying the 6, there's definitely at least one of them has a 1 in. Because I can't put 2 into both of those yellow Tetris pieces. And whichever one doesn't have 2 in it has 3 digits that sum to 10, along with a 6 to take us up to 16. And the only way of getting to 10 with 3 digits, if you can't use 2, is either... Oh, hang on, 712 won't work. Hang on. I hadn't thought that through. Because 712 has a 2 in it. 613 won't work, so it's only 451. And if this was 451, that would be a 1. Because the 6 is over there, so it would be 4, 5 in here as well, and this would be a 1. Right. I don't know what this is doing. I feel like it's trying to put a 1 in one of those cells, but I can't quite. Let me just write down here the three. So the three options are 1, 4, 5. I'm thinking of the extra 10 for the yellows. 1, 4, 5, 1, 2, 7. But I think that one's tricky. Or maybe it's not. And the other one was 2, 3, 5. But 2, 3. These two have 2 in them. So what exactly are we saying? It depends, I think. Unless there's some way I know that 2 is got to be on one of the 3 cell segments, which would be a 6, 2, 8, wouldn't it? I don't think I can possibly know that. Now, okay, I'm going to go back to the yellow segments. So the yellow segments have a maximum of 1, 2 on them. So one of them is 1, 4, 5. That's just okay. So that does do that, right? Because one of these is 1, 4, 5, because we can only put one more 2 in these yellow cells. So one of them is 1, 4, 5 as the only way of getting to 10 without a 6 and without a 2. Whichever one it is, if that's 1, 4, 5, by Sudoku, this digit is a 1. Let's just give that a circle. And if this one is 1, 4, 5, because 4, 5, and 6 are in those cells, that cell is a 1. So the 1... So there is a 1 in one of these positions. Now, I hear you ask, what is that trying to do? So the other one is 2, 3, 5. Is that the point? Yes. Or maybe. Actually, I'm not so sure about that. No, I'm not certain about that. Sorry. It might be. This field. I mean, that's so weird that 1 is forced into one of those. I really wanted it to do something in this box, but I don't think it does. So 1 is in one of those 4, but it can absolutely be on this line. It would be 6, 1, 9. Why would that be a problem? Or there's no problem with a 1 in either of those positions. I just don't think there is. Whichever way round it was, it would be quite interesting. Okay, so let's keep thinking this through then. Or maybe it's to do with the... Okay, so the corollary of us only being able to put 1, 1, 4, 5. Yes, I see. This is it, isn't it? I can't put 1, 4, 5 more than once into yellow, because if I try to do that, I'll get 1s in 2 positions in row 7. So 1, 4, 5 can appear once, and it is appearing once. I don't know which one it's in. So the other one is going to take the 2, the second 2, from here. So one of I don't know how to record this, but one of these has got 2 on it, and therefore none of these other ones, the 3 cell segments, is 6, 2, 8. Now, yeah, what does that do? I don't know. So, okay, what it does mean, because none of them can be 6, 4, 6, it means they're all odd. They're all made up of odd 10 pairs. So they're all either 6, 1, 9 or 6, 3, 7. That is true. And therefore, I don't know. I mean, that must do something. I know that does something. I just have to be a little bit more intelligent and work out what it is. I am trying to do that, and I am failing, but I am. So each one of these contains either. We can't have too many 3s either. Remember, I've got 1 3 here. So it's not possible to have all of these to be 3s, because that would put 4 3s on the line. So at least one of those is 619, at least. But perhaps I can do better. Perhaps there's some way I know. So one of them is 1 4 5, and it's either that one, which would make this 4 5 6, or this one would be 4 5 6. So either that's 4 5 6, or that is. Which one? I don't know. I'm not sure. I would love to know. Is it in any way obvious how to tell that? So one of them is 1 4 5 6, and then the other one is either going to be 6 with a 2 3 5, or it's going to be 6 with a 1 2 7. Now, if this is a 1, you can't put 1 on that. So this would have to be 2 3 5 6. That might be possible. But if this is a 1, then I don't think it's quite the same. Because then in this one, is it possible this could be 1 2 7? Is the big game in town? Could this be 1 2 7 6? With a 1 in one of these cells. So this would be a 2 or a 7. I don't know. I mean, it might not work, but I don't know why it doesn't work. So I've got to move that pencil mark is I keep looking at it down this column and thinking I can remove things from it, which I just can't do. Okay. So what on earth do we do now? Do I know somehow what that digit is? That would be a useful thing to know, wouldn't it? Or yeah, or is it to do with 3s again? Maybe that's the thing I've got to come back to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sorry if it's obvious. It could well be obvious. So hang on. So where are we now? I know one of the yellows is 1, 4, 5, 6. And the other one has a 2 on it, but I don't know whether it has a 3 on it or a 1 on it as its spare digit. But I do know that we can't put too many 3s in these cells. Let's have a colour for those cells there. Can't have too many. In fact, we'll label all of those blue because they're all similar in the sense they're a 3-cell sum adding to 16, one of whose digits is a 6, and with odd pairs to bring up the remainder. Now, I can't, I'm not sure how to do this. 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 6, 7. How do we do it? I think, if I'm guessing, there's some way that I'm meant to know. I still don't think I've used this red, the fact that one of those is 1. I don't feel like I've used that. I think it's profoundly clever that Kaktuslav has built that into the puzzle. But I can't quite see what I'm meant to learn from it, if you see what I mean. 1, 4, 5, 6 is definitely in exactly one of the yellows. And I can see if it's here, this one is 2, 3, 5, 6. Maybe that's impossible for some reason. This would be a 2, 3 or a 5. 2, 3, 5, 6 into those cells. Is there some problem with that? It doesn't look like it, does it? It really doesn't. It would put a 3 in one of those, which would mean a maximum of one of the blue cells is 3, 7. So there would be at least 2 6, 1, 9 triples. Maybe there's some way, you know, that one's 6, 1, 9, and then this would be 4, 8. Would we care about that? Those would add up to 8. I don't know. That might be fine. I'm not sure. If this was 1, that would be a 1, wouldn't it? And then that would be a 7 or an 8. Would we care? Why is my phone buzzing? Stop listening. Stop buzzing. I'm going to turn it over so I can't even see what the WhatsApp messages springing down my phone are. Right, come on. Or I'd feel much happier if I knew which of these was accompanying the 1, 4, 5, 6 in these. And I can nearly get rid of this one from all sides. If this is 1, 4, 5, 6, that has to be 2, 3, 5, 6. But if that's a 1, and this is 4, 5, 6, if this is a 1, is it possible? This is the thing I'm just going to have to look at, I think, just to think about this for a second. We would be in this position, and there would be a 1 in here, so this would be a 1. So this would be 3, 7, and this would be exactly equal to 2. Now, why is that in any way problematic? And the answer might be it's not. So this would be 1, 6, 7. One, 6, 7. Oh, hang on. 1, 6, 7, 8. 1. No, 1. No, that wouldn't work. No. No, it wouldn't work. I'd run out of digits in this column. Goodness me, this is complicated. 2, 1, 6, 7, 8 would be the only option. So, okay, so it must be something to do with 2s, 3s, and 4s. One of the digits. How do we see this? Yeah, okay, I can see it now in a slightly different way as to why this isn't 1, 2, 6, 7. The answer is this. And this is, I do think this is quite complicated, but I'm sure there's a way of articulating it incredibly smoothly. But obviously, if you're solving live, I might not be able to do that in quite the perfect way. But here is my attempt at it. If this is 1, 2, 6, 7 down here, then we can see where's 3 in column 8, or this box in box 9. 3 is going to be down here, isn't it? But now, because this is 1, 2, 6, 7 and the 1 is here, this digit is a 1 in the column, and this digit is one of those is a 3. And there's no way of making the 10 sum here anymore. We know that the 6 is being accompanied with odd digits, so it needs to be 1, 9 or 3, 7. It just doesn't work. It's impossible. So actually, this is great, because what it means is we're never in the 1, 2, 7 world. We're in the 2, 3, 5 world. So we know both of these lines now have 5 on them, because one of them is 1, 4, 5, 6, and one of them is 2, 3, 5, 6. And that's never 5, is it? Because of this 5. So the next question is going to be, how do you know which way round these go? And that is a different question altogether, isn't it? 1. No, it's the same. Okay. So maybe this was the point all along. Maybe this was the point all along. It's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. This is the question. This is the question I should have asked, and I've only just understood it as a result of some of the other shenanigans I've been doing. Right. How could this one be 1, 4, 5, 6? And remember that question that I was just talking about. If it's 1, 4, 5, 6, we know that this has to be the 1. Now. We do, because of this 4, 5 at the top. Yeah, I was wondering how I knew that. How had I got those red circles? But it is true. So if this is 1, 4, 5, 6, this digit is a 1, and these are 4, 5, and 6, and then this 3 point comes in again, doesn't it? 3 is going to be down here, looking at this. So there's no possible 10 fill. So it cannot be. It cannot be. So actually, before we did this last logic, we could have said this is always 1, 4, 5, 6. This is therefore always the 1. That's just Sudoku. This is always 4, 5, 6. Therefore, this is always 4. This is not 4. This is not 4. I get a 4 in box 1 for my troubles. This is not 1. 1 is in one of those 3 cells. This is no longer 6, so this is no longer 5. So now we can ask where 5 goes in row 2, actually, because there's this 3, 5 pair. It can't go there, so it has to go here. And I see. That's good. That's good for a totally different reason. The reason that's good is that now these two add up to 8. So this has to be a 1 and a 7 to do that. This is therefore an 8. This is a 7. We can tidy up a little bit. Oh, so this is 6 or 8. So this is now 7 or 9. Oh, and therefore it's 9, look, by Sudoku. So we get 9, 8, 6. This row needs a 6 in it. Let's pop that in now. These have to be 7 and 8. This adds up to 12, so that's an 8. That's an 8, that's a 7. Oh, it's just beautiful. So the whole trick, hopefully it's clear to everybody now, the whole trick is before I did all of this shenanigans down here where I was trying to work out whether it was 1, 2, 7 that was accompanying the 6 or 2, 3, 5 that was accompanying the 6 in these yellows, I should simply have said, is it possible for this to be the 1, 4, 5, 6? And then notice this would be 1 and a 3 would be down here in box 9. And that would have killed off this line. That was all it was. It required nothing more complicated than that. This is now a 2, 3 pair in column 3. Therefore, this is not 3, 7, is it? This is 1, 6, 9. Now, yeah, okay, that is the 9 then. So this is a 1, 6 pair, which is lovely. Welcome to the jungle. This is a 5, 7 pair, which means that is not 7. And okay. And probably now might be the time we come back over here and ask about, let's get rid of that. That 3 pencil mark was bogus, remember. That was me noting that if there was no 3 on here, it would have that effect. Those digits add up to 8, and they're not 3, 5, so that's either 2, 6 or 1, 7. And if it was 1, 7, it would be in a very particular order. Ah, right. This domino here is either 2, 6 or 1, 7. So it definitely uses a 1 or a 6 in it. That domino must have a 1 or a 6 in it, and that's a 1 or a 6. So between these 3 cells in row 5, 1 and 6 are used up. So that digit's not 1 or 6. Probably doesn't do anything, but it's a truth. Okay. So now what we do, I think, is we come back over here, don't we? And we say, okay, well, we know that this is 2, 3, 5, 6 from the work we did earlier. I'm just wondering if there's a quick way of proving that now from this position, just to 2, 7. If we were in a world, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, if this is 1, 2, 6, 7, 3 ends up down here, doesn't it? 1 is here, so 1 is there, so you can't make this work. So it has to be the other one. It has to be 2, 3, 5, 6. But, okay, that's not 5. That's a truth. Okay. So how does that work for us? So okay, what we could do, I suppose, is to say 4 in this box is down here. So that's not 4. So that becomes a 4. So maybe 4s are the key. No, I don't believe that for a moment, really. That's not 9 by Sudoku. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this cell here is a 1 or a 7, and there will be a 1 or a 7 in the blue triumvirate in column 8, because it's either 1, 9 or 3, 7, isn't it? So there's also a floating 1, 7 pair in these 4 cells. So, yeah, it's going to be all sorts of Sudoku going on. 2 is down here. 2, 3, 5, 6. So these digits, one of them has to be an 8, doesn't it? One of them is 8. And one of them is 3 or 9, I think. I think these are from 3, 8, 9. 8 is definitely down here. And the other digit down here, oh no, hang on, it can't be 3 because 3 is on here. Hang on, I need to think this through more carefully again. I think I better think it out again. So if this was 1, this would be 3, 7, and 9 would not have appeared in the column. So this would be 8, 9. If this is 7, then this would be 1, 6, 9. What's that doing then? I've got a feeling that doesn't... I'm running out of digits, aren't I? If this is 7, this has got 1 and 9 on it. So the digits that are meant to be at the bottom there are 2, 3, 6. No, that can't be 6, can it? Sorry, because 6 is definitely in this stripe. 7 here. No, these digits would be 2, 3, 8, and there would be nothing to put here. It just couldn't work. I need to explain that a bit better. It's some sort of weird Sudoku-y point. That is what is going on. So what I'm saying is, if this is 7, because this becomes 1, 6, 9, if this is 7, 2, 3, and 6 have not appeared in the column. So these digits are meant to be 2, 3, 6, which means these have to be 1, 4, 7... Well, they have to be all sorts of things. There's just too many things they need to be. No, hang on. That can't be. Not 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 8, I should have said. Apologies. 2, 3, 8 is what these would be. Because I definitely need an 8. Yeah, 6 would be here. 2, 3, 8. And now these would have to be 1, 4, 7, and 9 simultaneously, and the world won't work. So that is not the situation we're in, is it? That's got to be 1. That's got to be 7. These digits are now 6, 3, 7, which means this is a 2, which means these are 3, 5, 6, which means these are 8, 9. Which means these are a snooker maximum. They're a 1, 4, 7. It means these are 5, 8, 9. It means these are 1 and something. 1 and 2. Is that what they are? They're 1 and 2. Okay. But do you remember we said in this row there's a floating 1, 6 pair in those cells? So that's got to be 2. That's got to be 1. Oh, it doesn't do anything. Oh, but the 2 does do something, because it means that's not 2, 6. That's got to be 1, 7, and I know the order. That's lovely. Good grief. So now this is 1. This is 6. This is now a 3 by Sudoku. And for our next trick, we're going to... So that's not 8. So this is 5 or 9 by Sudoku, I think. Which feels like it might matter, doesn't it? This digit is not 1 or 3. This digit is not 1. Oh, I bet we can get a count now. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Look, we've got 1 3 here, 2 3s, 3 3s on the long line. That's all the 3s were allowed. So this thing down here has got to not be 6, 3, 7. That's got to be 1, 6, 9. And now this is 8, and that's 9. And presumably this is going to do something. So 8 is in one of those cells. 9 is in exactly that cell. This is lovely. 9, 8. 8 is on that line, so that's what this line's going to be for. This is not 1 by Sudoku. This 169 is taking 1 out of there, 6 out of there, 6 out of here. Are we getting there? Don't know. This line here is at least adding up to 11 because we can't have 1 or 2 on it, so it's at least 8 plus 3. It's not 8 plus 4. It would be 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 would be 13 up there. Is that going to work? Maybe. Ooh, that's not 9. If this was 8, 5, that would have to be... That wouldn't work. You couldn't make that domino add up to 13. So it's going to be at least 8 plus... It can't be 8 plus 6. 8 plus 7. Ah, this is important. Right, we do need to look at this line. Just bear with me for a moment. I want to look at this domino a little bit more carefully. I said it could be 8-3. I think it actually is going to end up being 8-3, because if it's not 8-3, it can't be 8-4. 8-5 won't work because you can't make this domino sum to 13 if this is 8-5, because it can't be 7-6, it can't be 9-4, and it couldn't be 8-5 because it would clash here. So that just doesn't work. If it's not 8-5, 8-6 is ruled out by Sudoku. 8-7 might be a possibility, but we'll come back to that. 8-8 won't work, Sudoku, and 8-9 doesn't work. So the only things that work here are 8-3 or 8-7. Now, if this is 8-7, it sums to 15, which means this must be a 9-6 pair, because it couldn't be an 8-7 pair without repeating itself, and that can't be a 9-6 pair. So this is 3-8. Oh, actually, I know the order now. So that's 3-8. And these add up to 11, so this can't be 5-6. That's got to be 9-2, and that's doing some work for us. Look. Oh, well, it was. Oh, no, it still might be. No, I was maligning it unfairly. Look, it is doing some work. This is a 5-6. This is a 5-6 pair. We can do that. So this is it's an 8 and a 3. Good. We can do that. So 1 has to be there now. This has to be 6. This has to be 9. The 9 there does the 9 and the 2 at the top. That does the 2 and the 4 here, look. This has got to be a 5-7 pair, which we can fill in. 5-7. Hopefully something is going to have cracked down here. Yeah, that's become a 7. So 7-4-1, 5-6-4, 3-6-5. That's going to be a 2. We need 3 and 7 here. Don't get a 3 in the corner, but never mind. 7. We've done it. Oh, we do get a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. What a puzzle that is. That was fantastic. Fantastic. I was a bit slow at a couple of moments, and for that you'll have to, well, hopefully you'll be able to forgive me. It was some sort of Sudoku wizardry down here that I couldn't quite see clearly. But let's just take our hats off to Kaktuslav, because until I got stuck on the Sudoku, that was gorgeous. And once I overcame the stuckness of the Sudoku, it was gorgeous again. Beautiful, beautiful puzzle. The selection of the 6, the 3 and the 2 here was quite lovely. And this one thing was weird, wasn't it? That was beautiful. Yeah, it's a gorgeous puzzle. Gorgeous puzzle again. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.